So let's talk about one of the most spectacular, powerful, and, let's be honest, kind of terrifying forces on our planet: volcanoes. I mean, these things are the architects of entire landscapes, but they're also agents of destruction, all at the very same time.
So, let's just dive right in. Have you ever really, truly looked at a massive mountain and thought, what could possibly make that thing literally explode? Well, that's exactly the question we're going to unpack today.
You know, at its heart, a volcano is actually pretty simple. It's just a vent, an opening in the Earth's crust. Think of it like a giant chimney for the whole planet, letting out all this super hot steam, gas, and molten rock that's been cooking away deep underground. And here's a little fun fact for you. The name itself, volcano, comes from Vulcan, the ancient Roman god of fire. And you gotta admit, it's a pretty fitting name for a force that has amazed and scared people for thousands of years. Okay, so to really understand why a volcano erupts, we have to take a little journey way, way down into the Earth, into what you could call the planet's fiery engine room.
So, way down in the Earth's upper mantle, we're talking like 70 to 200 kilometers below our feet. It is so incredibly hot that solid rock actually melts into this thick, gooey liquid. We call it magma. And as long as it's stuck underground, its name is magma.
Now, here's the thing. Because this molten magma is less dense, it's lighter than the solid rock all around it, it starts to rise up, and it collects in these enormous underground reservoirs we call magma chambers. You can think of them as the fuel tanks for a volcanic eruption. So where do these things actually pop up? Well, it's mostly in three kinds of places. And it all has to do with plate tectonics, you know, the giant puzzle pieces that make up the Earth's surface. They form where plates pull apart, like in Iceland, or where they smash together, which creates the Pacific Ring of Fire. That's why so many cities from Japan to the Americas deal with volcanoes and earthquakes. Or they can just pop up right in the middle of a plate, over an extra hot area called a hotspot. That's actually how the Hawaiian Islands were born. All right, so we've got our fuel tank. It's full of magma. But what actually lights the fuse? What causes that huge boom? Well, believe it or not, it all comes down to fizz. And this is the perfect way to think about it. Picture that magma chamber like a shaken-up bottle of soda. Deep underground, you've got gases like water vapor and carbon dioxide that are totally dissolved in the magma because of the immense pressure. But as that magma starts rising, the pressure drops. Suddenly, all that gas comes rushing out and forms bubbles. And those bubbles expand like crazy, creating this incredible force that has to go somewhere, and the only place to go is up and out. But here's where it gets really interesting. The size of that explosion totally depends on how thick or runny the magma is. It's all about a mineral called silica. If the magma has low silica, it's really runny. The gas bubbles can escape pretty easily and you get these gentle, flowing eruptions. But if the magma has high silica, it's super thick and sticky. It traps those gas bubbles, letting the pressure build and build and build until you get a massive, violent explosion. And by the way, once that magma hits the surface, we call it lava. And the type of lava is what creates the different volcano shapes we see. Those gentle, runny lava flows build up layer by layer over a long time to create these wide, flat shield volcanoes, like Mauna Loa in Hawaii. But those huge, explosive eruptions of sticky lava, which also blast out tons of ash, build up those classic steep-sided cones called stratovolcanoes. Think Mount Fuji in Japan. So we've got these incredible forces that build mountains, but their impact is so much bigger than that. Volcanoes really do have two completely different faces, one of just immense destruction and another of really surprising creation. On the destructive side, the dangers are just terrifying. You've got pyroclastic flows. These are glowing avalanches of superheated ash and gas, reaching 700 degrees Celsius and moving faster than a race car. They incinerate everything. Then there's ashfall, which can bury entire towns, collapse buildings from its weight, and shut down air travel across the globe. And then you have lahars, these violent volcanic mud flows that just surge down valleys like rivers of wet concrete. And to put that destructive power into perspective, just look at this number. Just four major eruptions. Tambora, Krakatoa, Mount Pelée, and Mount Ruiz have killed over 250,000 people since the late 1700s. It's a really sobering reminder of the kind of power we're talking about here. But there's a whole other side to this story. Volcanoes are also creators. That volcanic ash eventually breaks down to create some of the most fertile soil on Earth,
which is why so many people actually live near them. They create brand new land, like the Hawaiian Islands, which are built entirely from volcanoes. And we can even harness their incredible heat to create clean geothermal energy.
In fact, their creative role is absolutely fundamental to our world. I mean, this quote really says it all. Volcanism isn't just some sideshow. It helped form our oceans, our atmosphere, and even our continents over billions of years. It's a huge deal.
So, when you put it all together, it's pretty clear that volcanoes are so much more than just exploding mountains. They are our planet's fiery architects, and we just have to learn how to live with these giants. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. Here are 5 fiery facts to remember. Number 1, volcanoes are basically vents for magma. Number 2, they're mostly created by plate tectonics. 3, that explosive boom comes from gas pressure. 4, the stickiness of the lava is what decides if an eruption is gentle or explosive. And number 5, volcanoes are a powerful force of both creation and destruction.
And we're not just helpless bystanders in all of this. There are amazing scientists called volcanologists who dedicate their entire lives to studying these giants. They monitor everything from tiny earthquakes to the gases they let off, all to get better at predicting eruptions and helping to keep people safe.
And all of this leaves us with one last, really fascinating question. After everything we've learned, what other secrets are our planet's fiery giants still hiding, deep, deep beneath the surface?